guys, I'm doing a giveaway if I get 500 subscribers. Right now I have 337 subscribers. If I get 500 subscribers, I'm gonna do a giveaway giving $75 each to 3 people. All you have to do is subscribe, and then I'll pick the 3 people randomly. You subscribe, you like the video, and you put a comment on under this video. Now, I'm 30 years old and still living with my mom. Okay, guys, so you guys already know about how I left Caribbean Med School, how I was devastated. I made 2 story times on it. One story time got about 30K on it. If you didn't watch those story times about my Nightmare Caribbean Med School experience, I recommend that you do go watch it. A lot of people enjoy it and they think it's funny. So go check it out. So I went to Caribbean Med School. I was devastated. My time there was like a Black Mirror Twilight episode. Like, after I left that island, I never saw the world the same ever again. I was a completely different person. And probably when I came off that island, I'm guessing I was like 27 years old. But I think I graduated college when I was 22 years old. Immediately went to Caribbean Med School. And the only reason why I decided to get off that island, because I was gonna stick through it and study for my NBME again. So the NBME is the National Board Medical Examination. It's a test that Caribbean Med School students have to take before they're able to take the main test that qualifies if they're able to get into a U.S. residency. That main test is called Step 1. But it was COVID, and it felt like we were in the apocalypse. And I just felt like if it's down to me and the people on the island, they're always going to put each other first. So I just felt like I was in the apocalypse. I just feel like if I stay here, I don't think I'm going to eat. I don't think I'm going to drink water. I don't think I'm going to make it. So I had to get on the plane and come back to the United States of America. Tell you guys that to set you up for how I'm 30 years old and still living at my parents' house, honestly. I think when I came back off that island, I left when I was 22. I think I was 24 or 25, honestly. I really do. I think I was 24 or 25. My prefrontal cortex was developing, I guess. And step 1 became pass or fail. It was too much happening in a short amount of time, okay? It was too much happening. Like, I felt like my identity was scattered over there. Like, I just felt like I was being traumatized on a daily basis. Like, my mom was not picking up her phone. That lady did not want to talk to me. My dad, he's in a country in Africa, so for all I know, he don't want to be involved with me either. So I come back to America, and then one of my family's members is having a mental breakdown. And you know, people who are very, very empathetic people, which I think I'm an empathetic person, but maybe I'm not, who help others who are having mental breakdowns. Sometimes they can develop a mental breakdown too, just from helping that person who has a mental breakdown, okay? So I couldn't even study for my test because I was still trying to pass this National Board Medical Examination. I was still trying, and then I have a family member over here going through a mental breakdown, and I'm trying to help her too. And I could not focus. Step 1 became pass or fail. So I think I took the test again, and I think I failed by 10 points. I think when I was on the island, I failed by like 7 points. I think when I was home, I failed the test by like 17 points. And I was just over it. I was like, step 1 became pass or fail. I was like, during COVID, so much was going on. And I'm not even expanding. The whole George Floyd thing, I just felt like that was so traumatizing, and they kept showing it over and over and over and over again. We're in the middle of a pandemic. I'm 22, 23, 25. I don't know how old I was. Still living with my mom, which I felt like that was okay because I'm trying to be in medical school, so I felt like that was completely fine. I think when I left that island, I was at least 24 or 25. So I felt like that was completely fine. Um, Decided no longer to continue the Caribbean med school route because of everything and because of step one, becoming pass or fail. I didn't know how that was gonna work. I felt like it would be harder for Caribbean med school students to matriculate into the United States. I felt like it was an easy way for them to reduce them from matriculating. But I guess I was wrong because I have several classmates that made it. Anyway, so now I'm 25 years old. I become a medical scribe. I think I made a video, a part 2 of my Caribbean med schools talking about that. I became a medical scribe, still trying to pursue medical school, but I was trying to go through the American route now. So I went to become a medical scribe in a renowned hospital, whatever, a renowned hospital, a teaching hospital. And I gave myself 1 year. I said, Princess, if you don't take this MCAT, throw it away. You don't want to be a doctor. You're not motivated. So time came, time passed, became a medical scribe, and I didn't take the MCAT even though I had been studying for it. I didn't feel comfortable to take the MCAT, so I was like, you know what? You don't really want to be a doctor. I saw the nurses taking trips and flights during COVID, so I decided to become a nurse. You know, the nurses were dancing on TikTok. They were having a good time. I said, oh, I think nursing is for me. I think I want to be a part of this movement, okay? So I went to nursing school. But I was like 27 years old when I went to nursing school. I was like 27 years old. And the only reason why I decided to go to nursing school is because my mom's boyfriend, mind you, at this point, I'm 26 or 27, living in my mom's house. I was working at McDonald's. Then I became a medical scribe, making $17 an hour. I thought that was good money, and I still feel like it felt like good money to me, okay? Okay? One day, my mom's boyfriend looked me in the face, looked me in the eyes, and said, Princess, come here. He looked at me and he said, at your age, you should be married. You should have kids. You should have a stable career. But look at you. You're in your mom's house. You don't have kids. You don't do anything. You're financially dependent on your mom. You should have kids. You should have a job. You should have a husband. At your age, your mom had kids and a job and a husband and a career. And he told me that. Once he told me that, it lit something in me. It lit something in me. It just took me to another level. I was like, how dare you? And I couldn't do anything about it because it's my mom's house. It's my mom's house. And he only felt like he could talk to me that way because he knows my mom isn't going to do anything about it. And I thought to myself, if your mom decided to kick you out right now, what are you going to do? And the answer was nothing. I can't do nothing. And that burned me. I just kept hearing it over and over. At your age, at your age, at your age, you should have a house, you should have a car, you should. It lit something in me. And I was like, how can I get to the point where I'm financially stable as fast as possible? How do I get to this point where I'm financially stable as fast as possible so I can get myself out of this situation. I saw them nurses dancing on TikTok. One day, randomly, a pop-up came up on my phone for an accelerated nursing program. And then that's when I thought, bingo, you've done an accelerated program in med school already. You know how to study for this. You know how to study for this. You see them nurses dancing on TikTok. You've seen them nurses dancing like, oh, let's go, baby. So that's what happened, okay? I went to an accelerated nursing program. I was trying to find the fastest way for me to be financially stable as fast as possible, because this man had the audacity to talk to me like that, and I kept hearing it over and over and over again. So at first, my mom did not want to support me because she was very disappointed. She was like, I already supported you going to Caribbean med school. And I was adamant that I was going to support myself. I had my little money saved up from McDonald's, my money saved up as a medical scribe. I think I had saved up about maybe $6,000 because of taxes. So I was like, oh, you don't need to support me. I can support myself. So I ended up going to Baltimore in the hood, and I didn't know it was the hood because me and the guy, we did like a FaceTime tour. Like he showed me the tour of the house through FaceTime, because at the time the person who was supposed to give me a ride there, he was just complaining. Oh, I don't want to go. I don't want to drive all the way down there. So he was just complaining. Okay, so I was like, you know what? Let's just do a FaceTime tour. Not knowing I was going to live in the heart of the hood in Baltimore City. And when we were driving there, I didn't know it was the hood until I saw Martin Luther King Avenue. And I said, oh my goodness, I'm in the hood. Oh my goodness. Oh, the saxophones were blaring. The real estate guy didn't even want to get out the car. He didn't want to get out the car. He was scared to get out the car. So he was sitting in the car, and then when we popped up there, that's when he was like, okay, let's go. Let's go. Anyway, so I am 30 years old and still living with my mom because I graduated my nursing program. I think when I was 27, I graduated my nursing program. It was a 20-month accelerated nursing program. So I left the place that I was living at. I ended up going from Baltimore City and moving to a whole nother town because I found out that place was closer to my accelerated nursing program. And then my mom said I could stay with her. She said I could stay with her. So I stayed with her, and then now I'm just stacking up for what, I don't know, because it feels like in this economy, a house is just like it's like a dream. It's like a fairy tale at this point. So that's how right now I'm 30 years old. And then why am I single? Look, I allowed somebody to waste my time. Okay, before I even went to Caribbean med school, there's this guy that I was in a relationship with. I tried to break up with this boy so many times. He would not let me break up with him. He would not. He would start crying. He would not let me break up with him. And so I just stayed, even because he wouldn't let me break up with him. So I was like, you know what? He must really like me because he will not let me break up with him. So when I was going to like Caribbean med school, the guy was still there. And I was like, you know what? I can't break up with him now because who am I going to talk to on the phone? And I guess that was a good choice because my mom never wanted to pick up the phone. One time when I was on spring break, my mom was supposed to pick me up from the airport. I told her in advance, like I even had a calendar, like, oh, 7 days till spring break, 6 days till spring break. And I called my mom in advance, and I let her know, hey, mommy, you have to pick me up in 7 days. You have to pick me up in 6 days. You have to pick me up in 3 days. You have to pick me up. And I was letting her know. The day when I got to the airport and I called my mom and I said, hey, don't forget, you're picking me up today. She said, huh? I'm picking you up? I picked up a shift. I didn't know I was picking you up. My heart, I was so heartbroken. I was so heartbroken. And luckily, this guy and his family, they came and picked me up. So he was like the only consistent person in my life. So I just kept staying with him, even though I knew we weren't compatible. I just kept staying and pushing through. He would not let me break up with him. And then when I finally came back to the United States, I guess for good, I let him know, hey, we're not compatible. He says, you know what? It's okay. If you don't want to be in a relationship with me, that's fine. But can I still do stuff for you? And I said yes, because I can't drive a car right now, you know. So I said yes. So we are no longer in a relationship, but he's still in my life. And I feel like it's one of those things where, like, if you got a car parked in your driveway, it's hard to get another. You already have a car. The driveway is already packed to the brim. How you gonna get another car to come into the driveway if you already got a car there? Even if that's not your personal car. Now the car that I want, or the car that needs to come in there, can't get in the driveway because the driveway is parked to the brim. So it's kind of like one of those situations. You're talking to a guy for 8 years. You know you're not compatible with him, and he's just there. But you're not in a relationship with him anymore. That's how I'm 30, and I'm single, and I got no kids, and I'm still living with my mama. And and here you go. Here's the question. Why don't you just move out? Because now you're a nurse. Okay, let's answer that. I had to take private student loans that take 15% of my income. So every time I make more money, I give these private student loan people more money. I give them like about 15% or 15 to 17.5% of my income. So right now, I'm already giving these private student loan people about $1,200 a month. Now, let's say I go get my own studio. That's $2,000. That's $2,000. If I were to do that, how am I going to save? Anyway, okay, that's how I'm 30. I'm single. I got no kids, and I live with my mom. There you go. That's the story. Please like and subscribe.